Hi, welcome to BODHI. I'm Tamal and this is Jump Back In Level 1. Today we're joined by Jackie and Casey. They're going to be our demonstrators. Today's class is entitled Cleaning It Up. We're going to learn the desired lines in each yoga posture and troubleshoot common mistakes. So we're going to get started. It's seated in the center of our yoga mat with our legs crossed in Sukhasana. So if you feel like it's kind of hard or difficult to sit on the floor, maybe you have really tight hips or maybe it just doesn't feel right, you can always take a bolster or a rolled up towel and place it underneath your sit bones. I'm going to have Casey do that today. Otherwise, you keep your palms on top of your knees. We draw on the stomach, we lift the chest, close your eyes, start to follow your breath. And what that means, follow your breath, is more often than not, we take our breathing for granted because it happens automatically. But when we start to bring our attention to our breathing pattern or the lack of breathing pattern, it's like flipping a switch. Things become mindful versus mindless. So what I encourage you to do here is to fill your body with breath. And it starts with letting your belly expand first with the inhale, then your ribs, and then your chest. And as you exhale, your chest goes in, your ribs, and then your belly. It's belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly, just in that order. So it starts with abdominal, then intercostal, then clavicular. And they say throughout our life, we only use a small percentage of our potential when it comes to our lung capacity, exercising our diaphragm. I look at yoga as a way of tapping into our potential. Let's take a big inhale through your nose. Hold your breath at the very top. And then out of your mouth. Again, inhale deeply through the nose, holding at the peak. Let it go. Go back to breathing through the nose. Make your breath sound like you're fogging a mirror with your mouth shut. Or one of my favorites is when teachers say, make your breath sound like Darth Vader. Make it audible. So we'll blink our eyes open. We're just going to make a small change. Switch the crossing of your legs. Those little details matter. It impacts what's going on in the hips. Then re-glue your palms on your knees. And we're going to start circling your torso to the right, forward, and then to the left. As you're creating this spinal rotation, we're just warming things up. And then reverse the circle so you're going in the opposing direction. And then come back to center. We'll walk our hands forward and find your way to hands and knees. And then once you're on your hands and knees, let's tuck your toes, lift your knees, and push back into your heels for downward facing dog. So just like we did in our very first jump back in session, we want to make sure our legs are hips width apart. The heels disappear behind the toes. It's like you can never go over the fundamentals enough. Even if you've been practicing for 20, 30 years, you always want to go back to the beginning because it's a refresher, re-stimulates your understanding. We make sure our arms are shoulder width apart. The fingers point forward, the hands spread nice and wide. Remember, if you have hypermobile arms, a carrying angle, you can always turn your fingers slightly outward and it gives you more structure. The forearms should lift, they get buoyant. You don't want them collapsing towards the floor. The upper outer arms wrap down and around. That's going to create this little horseshoe shape at the top of the pectoralis and secures the shoulder girdle. The belly goes in, then the hips and the thigh bones press back, and you should feel that stretch the whole backside of your legs. We breathe. So on an inhale, let's drift to plank, top of a push-up. Pause. Casey is going to drop her knees to the floor. Jackie's going to do the full version, just like we did in our first session. I want you to lean way forward. Shoulders go beyond the fingers. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Casey's going to do the cobra. Jackie's doing the up dog. Then exhale, find your way to down dog, whether that's hands and knees or going straight into it. So we're going to do 2 more just like that, just to get our rhythm, our momentum going. On an inhale, drift to plank. As you exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Then exhale, downward facing dog. So I'm going to challenge you now to do that on your own with only my breath cues. So that's the only kind of structure or any kind of verbiage I'm going to hand you. Inhale to plank. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. So let's lift your right leg up to the sky. Hold. Are we leading with the inner thigh? Remember, that means that your right big toe is angling straight down or slightly to the left, not to the right. We'll bring the right knee into her chest. Jackie's going to step it straight forward. Casey's going to grab her own ankle and she's going to scoot her leg forward. Drop the left knee to the floor. Release the left toes. And I want you to scoot the left leg further back so we get a lot of space. Now the left hand's on the ground. The right arm reaches up to the sky. So we're in a modified twist. Why we call it modified is because the knee's on the floor. We're not in the full one yet. Turn the right hand down, reach over your own head, lengthen. It's very common for us to keep that top arm way too far away from the head. I want you to get your right bicep about an inch, maybe an inch and a half away from the cheekbone, and then we're going to wrap the right tricep towards the floor. So the right pinky slightly angles down and the right thumb angles a little bit up. That's going to open up the shoulder. Take the skin of your right hip back as it wants to sneak forward. If this feels a little bit strenuous or irritating to the left knee, you can always fold the corner of your mat up and slide it underneath that left patella for extra cushion. Otherwise, we get long through our side waist. We're pressing the earth away with the left palm, so you're creating space between your left trapezius and your left ear. Then we'll tuck the left toes, pick up the left knee, push up into the left thigh bone. Push up with that left leg. Notice what's going on in that back foot. I want you to take the inner left heel and draw it towards the back edge of your mat. Now you're in the full version of the twisting lunge. We breathe. There's a tendency once we get into a pose, if it's slightly challenging, to restrict our breath. We want to fully express it. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, right hand comes down. Let's step back to the top of a push-up. Casey's going to put her knees to the floor. We're going to lean forward and lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. So I want you to lead with the inner thigh. Notice what's going on in that left foot, always being mindful of the subtlest of details. Bring the left knee into your chest. Jackie's going to step forward. Casey's going to use her hand to scoot the foot forward. Drop the right knee, release the right toes, scoot the right leg way back. Right hand's on the mat, left arm reaches up. Then we turn the left hand down, reach over our own head. Remember, that left bicep's going to hang pretty low, about an inch, inch and a half away from the cheekbone. We press the earth away with that right palm, clearing away the trapezius from the neck. The left hip wants to swing way out. I want you to take that left hip and pull it back, then get longer through the sides of the waist as you turn the chest. Let's tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, press the right thigh bone into the hamstring. Push it upward. Pull back through the inner right heel. Are you breathing? Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, left hand down, step back to plank. And we're going to lower. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. That looks great, guys. So we're going to lift the right leg up, again, leading with the inner thigh. Bring the right knee into the chest. Step it forward or use your hand to get it forward. Back heel down. And we're going to come into warrior one, reach to the sky. So in our warrior one posture, if you feel like you're on a tightrope, you can always walk your right foot more to the right, and that creates space to help square your hips forward. So you're going to take your left hip forward, the right hip back. Yes. It's also going to help you take that right upper thigh bone, and you're going to draw that back. But at the same time, we're taking the right calf and we're pressing it towards the right shin. Keep sealing in the outer edge of your back foot so the inner left arch, inner left calf, and inner left thigh can lift. And like we've done so often in these practices, we take the front ribs towards the back body. We lift the sternum. We wrap the upper outer arms forward. This looks great. Let's take a big inhale. And as you exhale, hands come down to the ground. We'll step back to the top of a push-up. And let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of your choice. How to get to down dog is your choice as well. That's the beauty about yoga. There's so much room for creativity. You can expand upon things. You can modify things. It's very freeing. So let's lead with the inner thigh. Left leg lifts. Knee into the chest. Step it forward, back heel down. Let's rise warrior one. So again, if you need to create the space, walk your left foot more to the left. We don't always have to set up front heel to back heel. You know, not every pose is going to fit exactly the same in every person's body. We all have a different history. We all have old injuries. We all move differently, different range of mobility and flexibility. So we take that all into account and we kind of create a practice that fits us personally. So once you're here, we're spinning the right inner thigh back. And what that means is you're going to turn the right femoral head more into the hip socket. Then we pull the left hip back. We take the front ribs in. As the arms get straighter and closer together, the skin of the side body gets longer as the shoulders soften more. Very common is for the neck and head to kind of hang forward. Let it hang forward, Jackie. Yes. They call that anterior head carriage. I like to call it social media head carriage. So you're going to tuck your chin back and in, and that's going to work your deep neck flexors. Yes. Take a big inhale. Then exhale, hands come down to the ground. Step back to plank. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a big inhale through your nose. Hold your breath at the top. Out of the mouth. Come up high in the toes. Bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, step or spring. Inhale, glancing out. Exhale, fold forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold. 1 more. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open your arms and rise to standing. Circle your arms overhead. Palms connect at the top. Prayer in front of the heart. We will do Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold your body forwards. Inhale, half lifts. Exhale, step back or hop back. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, down dog. Again, make sure if you're hopping back, you're doing what Jackie's doing, where you bend your elbows. It's kind of like shock absorbers, so you're not straining in the shoulder. Let's come up high in the toes, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or spring. Inhale, glancing out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, open the arms and rise. Exhale, prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step or jump back. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So let's step your feet together. Let's drift to plank, top of a push-up. Kick both heels to the right and send your left arm up to the sky. So for today, I want both of you to drop your right knee to the floor underneath your right hip for more support and swivel your right leg behind you like a kickstand. So we're doing this modified variation of a side arm balance, Vashisthasana. Take the top arm, reach it over your head. You want the left bicep to hang about, again, an inch, inch and a half above the left cheekbone. So you're seeing a theme here. We seal the outer edge of that back foot. We take the tailbone and scoop it towards the earth or towards your inner left heel. Then you take your front ribs in. We soften the shoulders down. Looks great. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. Come to the top of a push-up, so readjust even if you have to shuffle. Kick both heels to the left. We're going into the other side. Drop the left knee to the floor. Swivel the left foot back. Turn the right hand down. Reach overhead. So this is such a fundamental, but it's also such an iconic pose. You see this in yoga magazines all the time. But to really kind of understand the posture, you have to start with the shoulder preparation because it's a side arm balance and so much is being bared in that left arm. So if you feel like you're really wobbly, chances are the structure's off. You want to make sure the left wrist is directly underneath the left shoulder. So Casey, you're going to move your wrist back an inch or two. There it is. We always want to line up shoulder joint over elbow joint over wrist joint. Then you wrap the left tricep back. You wrap the right tricep towards the floor. Those front ribs are hugging in. We want to support the body with bracing a little bit. Reach the right arm up. Right hand comes down. Kind of set yourself in plank or upper push-up, even if it looks a little muddled and shuffly, if that's a real word, shuffly. Now, take a big inhale. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Oh, I know, thank goodness we didn't do another vinyasa. Let's come up high in your toes. Let's bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step or lightly hop to the front. Inhale, glancing out. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, chair pose. Bend your knees, sit low, reach high, Utkatasana, and hold. Those of you who've been practicing for a while and then stopped practicing and now you're here with us today, this will bring back memories. Put the weight into your heels so that your knees fall in line with your ankles. The inner thighs roll down. The tailbone scoops under. The front ribs hug in. Now, just like we did before, the upper outer arms wrap forward. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, stand up. Same exhale, prayer in front of the heart. We're going to do Surya Namaskar B, or a second sun salute. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold, straighten the legs. Inhale, glance out. Then exhale, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Leading with the inner thigh, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, lunge the foot between the hands. Back heel turns down. Let's rise to warrior one. We already rehearsed this one. Then exhale, hands come to the floor. Let's step back to plank. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Wonderful. Leading with the inner thigh, left leg lifts. Exhale, lunge it forward. Back heel turns down. Inhale, rise, warrior one, no rush. Exhale, hands come down. We step back and let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. So, those of you guys at home, if this is moving a little fast, remember you don't have to be at the same pace. You can always run at a slightly slower pace or you can always speed it up. You're in control of how fast you're moving because it really is dependent on your own lung capacity. We've got one more round of that B series. So there's A series, B series, there's C series. There's so many different sun salutes to learn. Let's come up high in the toes, bend your knees, look forward, exhale, step or spring. Inhale, glance out. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand up. Same exhale, prayer in front of the heart. Here we go. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, lunge it forward. Back heel turns down. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Then exhale, hands come down. We step back. We lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, lunge it through. Inhale, rise, warrior A. Exhale, hands come down. We step back. We lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We are really moving now, guys. So let's take an inhale through the nose. Let's hold your breath at the top. This time, stick out your tongue and let it go. We call that Nishringasana or Simhasana, lion's breath. Let's lower your knees to the floor. So, Jackie's going to cross one ankle over the other. He's going to sit behind his feet and pop his legs through to the front. Casey's going to swivel her feet off to the side and then sit to the floor and take her legs out to the front. Whichever option you like, you can take. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. Pull the heels in towards your groin. It's like that classic stretch people do in PE class. They call it butterfly, but it's Baddha Konasana. As you pull the heels in, take an inhale, lift the chest. Then as you exhale, fold forward. Use your elbows to push your knees towards the floor. And I like to pull my chest past the toes. It feels completely different. And then from there, if you want more, you can walk your hands forward. If this is a little bit strenuous sitting on the floor, again, you can always take a towel or your bolster and slide it underneath your sit bones. Coming down the mountain, guys. It's really an ability to be able to flip the switch from going the hard physical stuff into the passive or restorative things. You can take this kind of structure into your life where you make a clear line between the heat and the cool. Because more often than not in our life, we go to work, we get so busy with our different tasks, then we go home, we have this opportunity to unplug, but all we can think about is what we have to do tomorrow. What's the next thing that has to be accomplished? Create peaks and valleys, not only on your mat, but in your life. From here, you'll sit up, close your knees together, scoot forward, let's lay on your back. Hug the knees into your chest. We'll take a happy baby. So you're going to take your arms split between your legs. Casey's going to hold on to her ankles. Jackie's going to hold on to the outer edges of his feet. And he's going to take his elbows to the insides of his legs. Yes. And they'll pull their knees down by their ribs. If this is still a little too intense, you can always take your hands and hold the back sides of your knees. And that's always a good alternative. So Casey's just quickly demonstrating, and then she's going to go back to her hands and her ankles. Notice if your butt is lifting off the ground. You want to sink your sacrum to the floor. But then notice if your low back is bubbling up. You want to draw on your stomach to descend the lumbar down. If you notice you're kind of concaving in your chest, plug the shoulder blades into the upper back so you can widen your pectoralis muscles, your collarbones, the front of the shoulders. Put a little tuck to the chin, with the back of your head press into the floor. And then emphasize the ankle stacking directly over the knees. Hug the knees to the chest. Release your left leg out, only hug the right knee in. Let's send your right arm out to the right, palm face up. Look to your right, and then twist your right knee across the body to the left. Maybe scoot that left hip back a little bit more. these sessions, even though we're going through a lot of fundamental things and there's a lot of modifications along the way, it's still challenging. You're still getting a workout. You're still building heat, starting to compound on the flexibility, the momentum that we're gaining. Hug the right knee into your chest. Release it next to left. Let's hug the left knee into your chest. Send your left arm out to the left, palm up. Look to the left, and then twist the left knee to the right. If you want to scoot that right hip back to the left a bit more, you can. Let's hug the left knee into your chest. Hug both knees into your chest. Place your forehead onto your knees. Let's take a very big inhale and hold your breath. Squeeze everything, all tension, all stress into one tight little ball. And then let it all go. Sprawl open. Savasana. You've arrived. So, I've given Casey a bolster to put under her knees like we did in our first session. If you want to take a bolster or a towel and do the same, that's always good for the lower back. Let your eyes, your face soften. Let the muscles, bones, and tendons in your joints in your body relax. Create this environment where you're receptive to the mood of resting. While you're in your Shavasana, we'll sing to you. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhaktavrindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhaktavrindam. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hare Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhare Yasoda Nandana Rajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Bhaktavrindam. Together, take a big inhale through your nose and hold your breath. Let it go. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, re-enliven your body. And with your eyes still shut, Let's roll over to your right side. And with your eyes still closed, let's come up to seated. Sit up tall, take your hands at prayer in front of your heart. Follow your breath. Notice how you feel right now, calm, relaxed, equipoised. It's the result of doing all the physicality, all the different movements, sequences, and yoga postures. And if we can think about this is how good we feel from just doing the physical aspects of yoga, what will we experience when we dive deep into the metaphysical aspects of yoga? I think you'll find happiness and contentment. Let's take a big inhale. Hold your breath. Let it go. Let's bow our heads. Namaste. Thank you guys for practicing with us here in our second session of Jump Back In. We'll see you again soon.
Peanuts are good. Oh, hello there. How's it going, everybody? So, we are going to be making some pee-pee bites. Don't get turned off by the name because they stand for peanut butter protein bites. We finished one of our sessions for Jump Back In, and these are going to restore your muscles, get you going for the next session. Let's begin. I got one lodged way in the back of my throat. So let's go over our basic ingredients. It's very simple. We've got some peanut butter, oat flour, protein powder, maple syrup, diced peanuts, and some sea salt. We're just gonna throw all this in a bowl and end up mixing together. So this is 1 cup of peanut butter, crunchy or creamy, totally up to you. I like the crunch, gives a little more bite to it. Next thing we're gonna put in is 1/2 cup of the oat flour, 3 tablespoons of your protein. You got 1/4 cup of maple syrup. You get your peanuts in there. And then I like to throw in just a little pinch of sea salt. Give a little extra something. For me, I like to use my hands because I'm rolling it anyway. But if you need to use a spatula, you can. Don't worry, my hands are clean. I didn't go pee. It's not why I call them pee-pee bites. Gotta always have a little fun when in the kitchen, make some jokes. My favorite thing to do here is after you have mixed it up with your hands a little bit, just to stick it in the refrigerator for like 2 or 3 minutes just because the peanut butter starts to harden up a little. But you can also just roll these out as is, just as good. But they do store best in the refrigerator. Once they're mixed up, you simply just roll them into little balls. I got this fancy little clean dish here. It'll look real nice and cute. It's all about the presentation in my household. I'm not gonna roll all these out just for the sake of time, but you're gonna get the picture. Best part about it is when you make it and you try it, this is gonna be a staple in your house. So good. This next one is not gonna make it to the plate. Oh my God, so delicious, so easy. You get that stickiness in your mouth, you barely can talk. I'm gonna stop talking. Have an amazing day.